Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today our topic is the blood supply and the lymphatic drainage of the stomach. First we will discuss the arterial supply of the stomach. The arterial supply of the stomach is derived from the celiac trunk and the branches of the celiac trunk. The branches of the celiac trunk. But before starting the arterial supply of the stomach, let us first discuss the celiac trunk. The celiac trunk is a short arterial trunk which rises from the front of the abdominal aorta and divides into three branches. The left gastric artery is the smallest branch of the celiac trunk. It passes upward and to the left to reach the cardiac end of the stomach, where it turns forward to run along the lesser curvature of the stomach. Then is the common hepatic artery. The common hepatic artery is the larger branch of the celiac trunk. It gives off the right gastric artery. The right gastric artery, after its region, turns towards the left and pass along the lesser curvature of the stomach. Then the common hepatic artery divides into its terminal branches: the hepatic artery, which runs upward towards the liver, and the gastroduodenal artery. The gastroduodenal artery arises at the upper border of the first part of the duodenum. It descends downwards behind the duodenum, and at the lower border of the duodenum it divides into the superior pancreaticoduodenal artery and the right gastroepiploic artery. The right gastroepiploic artery turns towards the left and passes along the greater curvature of the stomach. Then is the splenic artery, which is the largest branch of the celiac trunk. It has a tortuous course behind the stomach and it reaches the hilum of the spleen. Near its terminal part, it gives off the short gastric arteries, which are 3 to 7 in number, and they pass towards the fundus of the stomach and supply the fundus of the stomach. The other artery which arises from the terminal part of the splenic artery is the left gastroepiploic artery, which turns towards the right side and pass along the greater curvature of the stomach to anastomose with the right gastroepiploic artery. So the left gastroepiploic artery and the right gastroepiploic artery anastomose along the greater curvature of the stomach, and the left gastric artery and the right gastric arteries anastomose along the lesser curvature of the stomach. Now the arterial supply of the stomach. The arterial supply of the stomach is derived from the left gastric artery, the right gastric artery, the short gastric arteries. So the left, right and short gastric arteries supply the stomach, and the left and right gastroepiploic arteries supply the stomach. So this is the arterial supply of the stomach from the left and right gastric arteries, short gastric arteries, and left and right gastroepiploic arteries. Now we will study the venous drainage of the stomach. But before starting the venous drainage of the stomach, let us study this vein, the portal vein. The portal vein is formed by the union of the superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein. The superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein combine to form the portal vein, which passes behind the duodenum upwards towards the liver. The veins of the stomach corresponds to the arteries. The names of the veins are the same as those of the arteries. The left gastric vein and the right gastric vein. The left gastric vein and the right gastric vein, they drain directly into the portal vein, while the left gastroepiploic vein and the short gastric veins drain into the splenic vein, while the right gastroepiploic vein, this drain into the superior mesenteric vein, and then the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein combine to form the portal vein. So this was all about the venous drainage of the stomach. Now we will discuss the lymphatic drainage of the stomach. The knowledge of the lymphatic drainage of the stomach is clinically very important because gastric cancer, that is carcinoma of the stomach, spreads through lymphatics. For descriptive purposes, the stomach is divided into 4 lymphatic areas. First, we divide the stomach into a right 2/3 and a left 1/3 by a line along its long axis. By a line along its long axis, we divide the stomach into a right 2/3 and a left 1/3. Then we divide the right 2/3 into an upper 2/3 area 1 and a lower 1/3 area 4. Then we divide the left 1/3 into an upper 1/3 area 3 and a lower 2/3 area 2. In this way, we divide the stomach into 4 lymphatic areas. First, we will discuss the lymphatic drainage of the area 1. This is the largest area along the lesser curvature of the stomach. The lymph from this area is drained into left gastric nodes along the left gastric artery. These lymph nodes also drain the abdominal part of the esophagus. Now the lymphatic drainage of the area 2. The area 2 includes the pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal along the greater curvature of the stomach. The carcinoma of the stomach most frequently occur in this area. The lymph from this area is drained into the right gastroepiploic lymph nodes along the right gastroepiploic artery and the pyloric nodes present in the angle between the first and second part of the duodenum. The lymphatic drainage of the area 3. The area 3 is also called the pancreatico-splenic area. The lymph from this area drains into the pancreatico-splenic nodes along the splenic artery. Now the lymphatic drainage of the area 4. The area 4 includes the pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal along the lesser curvature of the stomach. The lymph from this area drain into the right gastric nodes along the right gastric artery and into the hepatic nodes along the hepatic artery, and the efferent from all these nodes drain into the celiac nodes, and the efferent from the celiac nodes drain into the cisterna chyli through the intestinal lymph trunk. The stomach cancer or gastric carcinoma most commonly occur in the pyloric antrum along the greater curvature of the stomach, and spreads to the left supraclavicular lymph nodes. The enlarged left supraclavicular node, the Virchow node, may be the first sign of stomach cancer. The cancer cells reach the supraclavicular lymph nodes through the thoracic duct.